Hello, fellow baking enthusiasts! Christmas is a magical time. It's a time for delicious treats. Today we're making a show-stopping dessert, the Twinkling Christmas Tree Lights Cake. This cake is beautiful. This cake is delicious. This cake will impress your guests. Let's begin. Before we start baking, let's gather our ingredients. We need basic baking supplies. Think flour, sugar, eggs. We also need some special ingredients. These ingredients make our cake special. We'll need green food coloring for the tree. We'll need edible glitter for extra sparkle. Finally, we'll need battery-operated LED string lights. Safety first, make sure they are food safe. First, preheat your oven. Set it to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 175 degrees Celsius. This step is crucial as it ensures that your oven is at the right temperature when you put your cake in. Preheating helps the cake to rise properly and bake evenly. While the oven is preheating, you can start preparing your cake pans and ingredients. Make sure to double-check the temperature setting to avoid any mishaps later on. Grease and flour your cake pans. This step is essential to prevent the cake from sticking to the pans. Use a brush or a paper towel to spread a thin layer of butter or oil all over the inside of the pans. Then, sprinkle a little flour and tap the pans to coat them evenly. This will create a non-stick surface that makes it easier to remove the cake once it's baked. If you skip this step, you might end up with a cake that breaks apart when you try to take it out of the pan. We're using two 8-inch round cake pans. These pans are perfect for making a layered cake. If you don't have 8-inch pans, you can use 9-inch pans, but keep in mind that the baking time might be slightly different. Make sure the pans are of the same size to ensure even baking. Having uniform layers will make your cake look more professional and easier to assemble later on. Now let's make the batter. Gather all your ingredients and make sure they are at room temperature. This includes butter, eggs, and any dairy products. Room temperature ingredients mix more easily and create a smoother batter. Measure out your ingredients accurately using measuring cups and spoons. Baking is a science, and precise measurements are key to achieving the perfect cake texture and flavor. Cream together butter and sugar. This step is important for incorporating air into the batter, which helps the cake to rise. Use a stand mixer or a hand mixer to beat the butter and sugar until the mixture is light and fluffy. This usually takes about 3 to 5 minutes. Make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl occasionally to ensure that all the butter and sugar are evenly mixed. The creamed mixture should be pale in color and have a light, airy texture. Add eggs one at a time. Crack each egg into a small bowl before adding it to the batter to avoid any shell pieces. Beat well after each addition to ensure that the eggs are fully incorporated. Adding the eggs one at a time helps to maintain the emulsion and prevents the batter from curdling. This step is crucial for achieving a smooth and consistent batter. In a separate bowl, whisk together the dry ingredients. This usually includes flour, baking powder, and salt. Whisking helps to aerate the flour and evenly distribute the baking powder and salt. This ensures that the cake will rise evenly and have a uniform texture. Make sure to sift the dry ingredients if they appear lumpy. This step is especially important for cakes as it helps to create a light and tender crumb. Slowly add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. Mix until just combined. Overmixing can result in a dense and tough cake, so it's important to mix the batter gently. Add the dry ingredients in batches, alternating with any liquid ingredients like milk or buttermilk. Start and end with the dry ingredients. Use a spatula to fold the batter gently, making sure to scrape the bottom and sides of the bowl. The batter should be smooth and free of lumps, but be careful not to overmix. Divide the batter evenly between the prepared pans. Use a spatula to spread the batter evenly and smooth the tops. This ensures that the cakes will bake evenly and have a uniform shape. If you have a kitchen scale, you can weigh the pans to make sure the batter is evenly distributed. This step is important for achieving even layers, which will make assembling and decorating the cake much easier. Bake for 30 to 35 minutes. Place the pans in the preheated oven and set a timer. Avoid opening the oven door during the first 20 minutes of baking, as this can cause the cakes to sink. Check the cakes for doneness by inserting a toothpick into the center. If it comes out clean or with a few crumbs, the cakes are done. If the toothpick comes out with wet batter, bake for a few more minutes and check again. Use a toothpick to check if it's done. Insert the toothpick into the center of the cake. If it comes out clean or with a few moist crumbs, the cake is ready. If there is still wet batter on the toothpick, bake for a few more minutes and check again. This step ensures that the cake is fully baked and has the right texture. A clean toothpick means the cake is ready. Once the cakes are done, remove them from the oven and let them cool in the pans for about 10 minutes. This allows the cakes to set and makes them easier to remove from the pans. Run a knife around the edges of the pans to loosen the cakes, then invert them onto a wire rack to cool completely. Let the cakes cool completely before frosting. Cooling the cakes completely is crucial to prevent the frosting from melting and sliding off. Once the cakes are cool, you can level the tops if needed and proceed with your favorite frosting and decorations. Enjoy your homemade cake. While the cake's cool, let's make the frosting. This is the perfect time to prepare a delicious creamy buttercream frosting that will complement our cakes beautifully. We're making a classic buttercream frosting. It's a versatile and easy-to-make frosting that pairs well with almost any cake flavor. Start by beating softened butter until it's smooth and creamy. This step is crucial as it ensures that the frosting will be light and fluffy. Gradually add powdered sugar, beating well after each addition. This helps to incorporate the sugar fully and prevents any graininess in the frosting. Add a splash of vanilla extract for flavor. The vanilla adds a wonderful depth of flavor to the frosting, making it even more delicious. Now let's color the frosting. Coloring the frosting adds a festive touch, perfect for our holiday-themed cakes. We'll need 2 shades of green, one light, one dark. This will give our cakes a beautiful layered look. Divide the frosting into 2 bowls. This way we can color each portion separately to achieve the different shades. Add a few drops of green food coloring to each bowl. Start with a small amount and add more if needed to get the desired intensity. Mix well until you achieve your desired shades of green. Make sure the color is evenly distributed throughout the frosting for a consistent look. Once the colors are mixed, transfer the frosting into piping bags. This will make it easier to decorate the cakes with precision. Now, you're ready to decorate. Use the piping bags to create beautiful designs on your cakes. The different shades of green will add a lovely festive touch. And there you have it! Delicious, beautifully decorated cakes with a classic buttercream frosting. Enjoy your holiday baking. Section 5. Assembling the tree from layers to lights. In this section, we will guide you through the magical transformation of simple cake layers into a stunning Christmas tree cake. This process is not only fun, but also a great way to get into the holiday spirit. So, let's get started. Once the cakes are completely cool, it's time to assemble our tree. Cooling the cakes properly is crucial as it ensures that the frosting won't melt and the layers will stay intact. Patience is key here, so make sure the cakes are at room temperature before you proceed. First, level the tops of the cakes using a serrated knife. This step is essential for creating a stable base for your cake. By removing the domed tops, you ensure that each layer sits flat and even, which is important for the overall structure of the cake. Take your time and make sure each layer is perfectly level. Next, place one cake layer on a cake stand. The cake stand not only provides a sturdy base but also makes it easier to decorate the cake from all angles. Center the cake layer on the stand to ensure it is balanced and ready for the next steps. Frost the top with a layer of frosting. This layer acts as the glue that holds the cake layers together. Use an offset spatula to spread the frosting evenly, making sure to cover the entire surface. The frosting should be thick enough to provide stability, but not so thick that it oozes out when you add the next layer. Then top with the second cake layer. Gently press down to ensure it adheres to the frosting. Repeat the frosting and layering process if you have more layers. Each layer should be aligned perfectly to maintain the shape of the tree. Now, frost the entire cake with a thin layer of frosting. This is known as the crumb coat. The crumb coat is a thin layer of frosting that seals in the crumbs, providing a smooth surface for the final layer of frosting. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should cover the entire cake. This is the crumb coat. It traps any crumbs and prevents them from mixing with the final layer of frosting. It's a crucial step for achieving a clean, professional-looking finish. Once the crumb coat is applied, let it set for a few minutes before moving on to the next step. Chill the cake for 30 minutes. This helps the crumb coat to set and makes the cake easier to frost. While the cake is chilling, you can prepare your final batch of frosting. Make sure it's at the right consistency for spreading and decorating. After chilling, frost the cake with the remaining green frosting. This is where the magic happens. Use a generous amount of frosting to cover the entire cake, creating a smooth, even surface. The green frosting will give the cake its festive, tree-like appearance. Use the 2 shades of green to create a gradient effect. This adds depth and dimension to the cake, making it look more like a real Christmas tree. Start with the darker shade at the bottom and gradually blend to the lighter shade at the top. This technique requires a bit of practice, but the result is well worth the effort. Start with the darker shade at the bottom and gradually blend to the lighter shade at the top. Use a spatula or a cake scraper to blend the colors smoothly. The key is to work quickly and confidently, blending the colors while the frosting is still soft. And there you have it, a beautifully frosted cake that resembles a Christmas tree. This cake is sure to be the centerpiece of your holiday celebrations. Not only does it look amazing, but it also tastes delicious. Enjoy your creation and happy holidays. Section 6. Illuminating the night, adding the twinkle. Now for the magical part, the twinkling lights. Carefully wrap the battery pack of the LED lights in plastic wrap. This prevents any contact with the cake. Starting at the bottom of the cake, gently press the lights into the frosting. Create a spiral effect all the way to the top. Section 7. Serving your masterpiece, your twinkling Christmas tree lights. Cake is ready to shine. Carefully transfer it to a serving platter. Add some finishing touches. Sprinkle edible glitter over the tree for extra sparkle. Place star-shaped sprinkles around the base of the tree. Section 8. Extra sparkle, tips and tricks. Here are a few extra tips. To make your tree extra sturdy, insert wooden dowels into the cake layers. This prevents the cake from leaning. For a snowy effect, sprinkle powdered sugar on top of the cake. Get creative with your decorations. Use different sprinkles, candies, and edible decorations. Section 9. Spreading Christmas cheer, sharing the joy. There you have it, a stunning and delicious twinkling Christmas tree lights cake. This cake is perfect for any holiday gathering. It's sure to bring smiles to the faces of your loved ones. Remember, baking is all about spreading joy. So gather your loved ones, put on some Christmas music, and create some delicious memories. Happy holidays!